should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and day, 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 day.
Hello and happy Monday. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda, that's Abby. We are covering The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 3. I'm going to go with you first, Abby. What were your overall thoughts of this episode?
I think it's really interesting watching the decisions that these people are making.
Yeah, agreed. I felt like it was a little bit of a filler episode. Like, not a lot happened, although a lot happened. I was like,
Right. It doesn't feel like the story advanced a lot, but we did meet new characters.
Did we?
We met some of like initial introductions to some of Manon's family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't feel like the story advanced so much, but I do think that we got some interesting information for some of them.
Agreed. So let's jump into Johnny 32. Chloe's arriving today from Boston, and he's fixing up his place, and he is kind of proud of what he's done. He's gotten a closet for her, a little satin cover for her pillow, some shelves in the bathroom, and we learn a lot about him actually, just in his backstory, right? Because your backstory does play a lot on who you are as a person and who you are in a dating relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? And the last woman he lived with was his mom. And prior to that, he was living with his ex, but his ex cheated on him. And so he moved back home with his mom. And then she had a heart attack and passed away, sadly. And what we learned in that story and his backstory was that his mom was his everything. And he thought being cheated on was the biggest heartbreak of his life, but having his mom pass was his biggest heartbreak. And to this day, he says that he's lost a lot of himself. And I think any adult, any person really who's lost a parent that they're close to can relate to that. You know, they can relate to that feeling because you never quite get over losing a parent. You just never really do.
You don't. And even when you make progress, you don't get to be the person who you were before it happened.
At all.
And so I think that caught me off guard. So I won't speak for him, but it catches me off guard a lot of times that I look at a memory and I can't feel the same way about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understood a lot more now. Not that anyone would ever want to leave their home, but I understand a lot more his resistance to ever leaving his home, because that is his home, his connection to his mom.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Which all factors in to A, who you are as a person, and B, how you love in a relationship. And knowing what we know now, that makes more sense that he doesn't want to ever leave Aruba, right?
Absolutely.
So that was one thing. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and I've talked about this before a lot in the past, especially covering, I don't think it was Match Me Abroad, Love in Paradise. It was Love in Paradise. And men who have their heart broken, that first heartbreak, and remember this, Abby, and then they don't ever get over it. And so every other woman is dealing with that heartbreak that they've never gotten over, whether they were 16 or 19 or 21. That mentality, a lot of men just stay in that heartbroken phase and can't really let go of that. And so they
Right.
expect every woman to hurt them like that. So they lash out before they feel like they're going to be hurt. And
Right.
so there's a little bit of that mixed in with this as well. So,
Hmm.
back. Anyways, he is going to pick up Chloe at the airport. As he jumps into his Jeep, something that stood out to me was his name on the wheel well, that extra wheel in the back. Johnny the real pirate. Oh Lord.
Yeah, this is more of his identity than I thought it was. It's not just a job at all. It is like a lot of his personality and identity is this pirate entertainer person.
Yep. Hey Joslo. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because it's a lot. It's a lot. And are you going to be a pirate? So is this your career? Is this what you're doing for the rest of your life? Because it looks to me like he's completely wrapped up in it. Like he says he's done partying and he wants to settle down and stuff like that. And also, I get in Aruba, the service industry is a big part of, and hospitality is a big part of the economy there. But like, okay, you're Johnny the pirate.
Yeah. What does it grow into? Um, and I'm not saying that like derogatively. I'm saying like literally, I don't know what it grows into. Me and Taylor went to Cirque du Soleil, the Lucia show this past weekend, so I know that there's like those kind of jobs are available, like entertaining and stuff like that. But I don't. What else do you do when your body is not able to flip off of the top of a pirate ship anymore?
That's the thing.
The
That's
other random thing I was wondering when I watched this is like we've had two episodes or two shows where we have one character in Aruba, and I don't think we've ever heard them speak their language.
Oh yeah.
We haven't heard any. I think it's pronounced Pampalomeo or Pampalomeo. We haven't heard any of that. So that's I just random thought I had while I was watching it.
And you know what? Because I thought about that last episode because when he was talking to his friend and his friend was talking English but had a very like an accent.
Mm-hmm.
I was like thinking that we would see them speak in their native tongue, but then I also thought Johnny doesn't have an accent at all. He almost sounds like he's from America.
He's probably been working ships so long that he can do that for us. He's probably a code switcher, don't you think?
Yeah. I would think that the producers would want him to just be more like Aruban, but I don't know. My underlying spidey instincts, I feel like maybe he's a import.
Oh, you think that maybe his family is like recently settled in Aruba?
Mm-hmm.
That's also possible.
Mm-hmm. Tanya.
Okay, I got to do the weird thing so I can get over here.
So Johnny the real pirate is off to get his damsel Chloe, and we learn from Chloe that this is oh no, excuse me. We learn from Johnny that Chloe is his first serious relationship since his mom passed away. And so that's going to be a big deal too, you guys, right? Because
Mhm.
how long has it been in between long-term relationships? And Chloe's 23, you're 32. Are you guys in the same points in your life where you want the same things, right? And I know that we've talked about it. Abby's mentioned it. Like this might be a really great fling for Chloe, but she's 23. Remember when you were 23? You're still partying. You still want to go out. So we'll see. They both have trust issues. He has a lot of trust issues because of cheating, being cheated on, and then also he cheated, right? So unless we unpack that and unless he truly, because people say once a cheater always a cheater, and that may or may not be true, but if you haven't addressed the reasons why you cheat, then you're just going to continue to cheat.
So I know that they both called it cheating, But my interpretation of when they describe what actually happened is not really cheating. He said that Chloe left. She came for vacation, she left, and then she was visiting back and forth. And on one of those visits, or in between one of those visits, is when he was speaking to somebody else and she's chatting with somebody else. And I don't think they had had a conversation of what are we doing yet. And I feel like until we have that conversation and we agree that we're monogamous, then we're both dating. So
I
since
mean,
the time,
go ahead.
so since the time they had that conversation, nothing has happened since then. It was before then.
I mean, I agree with you in principle. However, what I'm not about to do is be dating someone and going back and forth and spending money on flights and Airbnbs, and you're taking a holiday with another girl to Florida. That's
Right.
not me.
What's not okay about that is that he apparently was just not communicating with her that entire week. And he didn't say, I'm going to be busy, I'm doing something, whatever. It was just like dead silence that particular week. And then she saw what he was doing. So, like, that's not okay, not being honest about it. But
Yeah.
until we DTR, until we define the relationship, we're both dating.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
With that.
So, but they both use the word cheating. So they do need to talk about what that means to them.
100%. 100%. He has some concerns. So not only is there trust issues in there, he has concerns about Chloe never living on her own before, never paying bills before, and realizing that Chloe, you know, she comes from a very privileged lifestyle, has a safety net in money, and can completely leave whenever he feels like it if it's not working out. And so he's worried that, you know, he's putting this energy into establishing a serious relationship with this young girl, and it may or may not work out, like, because there's so many X factors, right, you guys? And moving out, living on your own, and paying adult bills and having adult responsibilities is a shock to the system. Because you know what? Every single month, those bills keep on coming. And so those are some true concerns that he should have, but he should have also had that conversation.
Absolutely.
Before.
Oh yeah, thanks for joining us live. Okay, so, but I still feel good about them. I still feel good about Chloe. I'm excited for this adventure for her. And now that I know more about Johnny, I really hope that he doesn't get hurt in this process of, you know, whatever this is going to be, which I think is going to be a good time.
I'm on the fence still, but you guys know how I am. I'm on the fence till I'm not. So she's arrived in Aruba. Johnny meets her at the airport with flowers, and she's exhausted. They have their, you know, meet cute moment, the kiss and the hug, all the stuff. He's very gentlemanly, grabs her bags for her. He's like, you just hold the flowers, you're good. They get to his place. She wants to shower, she wants some food, and she wants to go to sleep, which sounds about right. And he's still worried that she's not ready because she is used to, when she goes there, staying at a vacation rental, right? Like an Airbnb or whatever. Now this is real life. He may not have the same luxuries as what she's used to, and he's worried that she's not going to be able to adjust. One of the things was there's no hot water. And hot water is a luxury and very, very expensive for the locals in Aruba, according to Johnny. So she's like, well, what? He's like, because it could be like up to $100. She's like, I'll pay the $100. I need hot water. And he's scared that Chloe is too spoiled and will not adjust. What were your thoughts on that, Abby?
I think that it's okay for her to offer to pay for it, but to not be rude to him, why not just give it a whirl first? Because according to him, it doesn't really ever, like, the water's always warm. So let's just try it out first, Chloe. Don't just throw your money at everything that he says is going on, because that's going to be really off-putting to anyone. I'm like, even if a platonic friend was hosting you and you just kept throwing money at their lifestyle, that starts to feel bad.
Agreed. And also, it's very tone deaf, in my opinion, because you know what Aruba is about. You've been there enough times, and this is just showing me your immaturity as well as, you know, the silver spoon in your silver spoon on your tongue, on your lips, in your mouth, whatever that.
Right.
As I was saying, I was like, silver spoon on your tongue. That doesn't sound right.
You're so close. You're so close, Linda. Born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Yeah, there. See,
You're so close.
area, tongue, mouth, teeth. Oh, craziness. On to Luke. You guys, I don't know something. Okay, so I love Luke's dad, Jim. I love him. I think that he is very loving. What I love seeing about it is a father expressing his love to his son, because oftentimes it's that machito stuff that you don't get to often see. And so I love that he's open about his feelings for his son, and he's affectionate towards his son, and he shows it. I just love that about Jim. I love his little accent, and I don't know how he created Luke. I just don't. That being said, their wedding is in 3 weeks, and he's moving to Colombia this day, 2 days earlier than he's supposed to arrive, because he wants to surprise his fiance, Madeline, because they've been fighting over money, and she's blocked him. And I just, listen, that doesn't instill confidence in me. You're getting married, and you guys know what I talk about, that money conversation. You need to resolve that money conversation before you get married. You need to resolve it. B, you blocked your fiance? You blocked him? How, like, no. No. I'm not into this. No games. None of, then you're coming early because you think that that's going to fix things. It's not. What fixes things is communication, maturity, and not playing games. Oh, and honesty. Yes, Olivia, he's a man child. So, uh, Jim, his dad shows up to take Luke to the airport, and they're talking about his debt because his investments haven't paid off, and he feels like the distance between him and Madeline has been hard on their relationship. Well, guess what? That debt is going to be even harder, because guess what? You guys only ever fight about money. So it's a good idea that he quit his job, and he's feeling stressed over it, and he's worried that he can't provide the lifestyle that Madeline is used to. Yeah, so that really makes sense for you to have quit your job and sped up the wedding date, and now we're moving to Colombia way earlier than you planned. That all just makes sense to me. It really does.
And I was curious because we know that he's in extreme debt. So I was curious, in Colombia, what is the situation when you marry someone with a lot of debt? Does it automatically become like community responsibility between the husband and the wife? That's something else that you guys should look into if you're interested in international dating and marrying out of the country. What is your responsibility in the event that your spouse is not being honest with you about their financial background?
Yeah. And then what were your thoughts on this? So he is, has these big aspirations to build this hotel resort in Colombia. And part of the reason why they're fighting is Madeline wants the property to be in both of their names, which piggybacks off of what Abby is saying. Luke says they're going to be equal partners, but he wants to be the sole title holder, because if things don't work out between them, he wants to be able to walk away and say, well, this is mine, not ours.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts on that?
So normally I would say I would be on Madeline's side that both of our names need to be on this. But what's happened in this situation is that she has been able to create a successful business on her own, and he has not been able to do so. He just has a background of multiple flops. So it might be for her own benefit not to be associated with that land purchase out there and be responsible for whatever he rents on it or builds on it. Um, just because he doesn't have a background of being successful in money, it might be better for her with a proven record of success to keep her stuff separate.
I 100% agree. She already doesn't trust him as a businessman, so I'm not sure why she's fighting this and arguing with him. Go ahead and be equal partners, and if that company, that business is successful, then you will equally get the revenue from that. But since your future husband has not been successful in anything that he's done yet, then maybe don't put your name on that because you don't have the same debts as him. And then, if it walks like a duck and looks like a duck, it's probably going to be a duck, right? If his history is shown flop after flop, and that's not necessarily true, right? Because some people, it seems like they're overnight successes, but there's been a lot of flops in the past. But with Luke specifically, I feel like what his dad says is he jumps into everything and he doesn't follow through.
Right.
And so
Right. So that's the issue, Jaws, though. Yeah, he did put the initial money up for the salon, but she's the one who followed through with getting the build out done, getting the employees in, doing the advertising and marketing, getting the business running, doing the accounting every year. She was the one who had to follow through. Luke has not had to follow through on any of his projects that he started so far.
That part, right? So just think of Madeline running Luke's sunglass and jewelry. Yes, Luke put the initial money up, but he is even saying that he's never marketed it, he's never branded it, he's never done anything. He just put the upfront money. Same thing with their salon. He put the upfront money, but he's not doing the day-to-day work. He's not making it successful, right? So, I mean, you can have the money, but you got to run a business. You can't just be like, yeah, I paid for it, so let it be successful. Ta-da!
And this is way bigger than sunglasses and jewelry is his idea that he's going to run a fancy resort.
Abby, my question is, what is he going to do for money until that resort is built? You're not starting January 1st, and by December 31st, that resort is going to be up and running. That's not that's how you build a hotel.
I mean, do you want to know what I really think he's about to do?
Yeah.
I think he's going to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. That's what he's been doing all this other time, right?
For years, though, because he's got to look at least a 2-year build out.
He's been able to use his credit cards and get loans to pay for things that he has not yet paid back. That does not seem to be a problem for him. Like for me, my debt hangs over my head every day. Mm-hmm. For him, does not seem to be a concern.
Yeah, I mean, Jocelyn's saying, where is he getting the $50 million to build it? Because not only are you building it and permits and staffing,
things that he hasn't even looked into. You just said permits. I bet you he has no idea what's required to build anything in Colombia.
And liability, like I just don't even know. You saw some land, you're like, yes, I'm going to build a hotel. Okay.
He would have been better off if he could have found like an apartment building to buy and then what do you call it when you modernize something?
Refurbish?
Like that would have been better than thinking that he could build something from scratch.
Yeah.
Oh, Zola's here.
Yay. Yeah, I don't get it. I think that he has big dreams and big aspirations, but no follow through. And so one of the things that his dad says to him, which I think is really important, is, you really need to be honest in your relationship. You can't even have little white lies in order for your relationship to survive. And his dad is giving him wisdom. Wisdom. Go ahead and tell Madeline all the real things because she's going to find out. So between having, which I just think is lame, by the way, you guys, but being mad that he had a bachelor party, if you are so, in my personal opinion, if you're so insecure that your future spouse is having a bachelor or bachelorette party, I don't think you guys should get married. I think that if you can't trust your spouse or your soon to be spouse to have a great time and not be jealous and not expect them to do anything, then why are you locking it in for the rest of your life?
There are so many things that fall into that category for me, like women who don't want their husbands to go on trips alone, like not even a business trip, or you can't meet um, a female colleague for dinner, or, like a former, like there are so many things people think if I control X behavior, then I can control them not cheating on me, when they should just do what you said. If I just don't trust them under the circumstances, then I just shouldn't marry them. But so many people believe the opposite, that if they control discrete behaviors, that they can control cheating.
Listen, what you're not about to do is any of that. You guys, you know that I've tried to start dating again. I'll share a story with you real quick. So there's this person that I was talking to, and after maybe the second conversation, I knew it wasn't going to go well, and here's why. So if I'm not in a relationship with you, I don't need to hear from you every single minute of every day. I just don't. I barely have enough time in one 24-hour period. So I don't need, like, a good morning text, great, or how was your day text is great, but I don't need like a good morning, good afternoon, what do you have for lunch, what are you having for dinner, what are you doing now, are you going to be at the gym, not when we're not even dating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just talking. Like, I don't need all of that, me personally. So he messaged me like some type of good night, blah, blah, blah situation. And I was out, and so I didn't respond. The next morning, he messages, good morning, and can you talk later? Yeah, I can talk later. So he calls me, he's like, hey, he's like, what time did you go to bed last night? And I was like, 1. Silence. He's like, oh, I text you at like 10. I said, yeah, I was out. And then he went on this tangent about the principles that he lives by and how a simple text back like, hey, I'm out, blah, blah, blah would suffice. And I said, well, both things. I said, when I'm out, I stay in the moment. So I'm not going to be on the phone to some person that I don't even know when I'm sharing a special moment with someone I do know. And I was like, both those things can be true. If you were in my circle of people and I saw a text, I'd probably be like, hey, I'm out. I'll talk to you later. But guess what? My circle of people would not also freak out because when we next text, I would tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's important to you, I completely understand, but both things can be true. So a few days later, I'm out again. Hey, can you talk? And I respected, because I was just sitting down. I was like, I'm out with friends. He freaked out. And I was like, nope, can't. This is not going to work. It's not going to work because I don't need to report to you.
Yeah.
I don't need to report to you because we're not even in a relationship. No, thank you.
Even the what time did you go to bed felt a little weird to me. Like, do you want to, like, what we should be talking about is what is the next date you want to take me on? Or do you have some questions to get to know me better? Like, why are you asking me about what time I went to bed last night? I've just
That
felt
part.
weird.
That part. Nope. No, thank
But
you.
what do I know? I don't know anything.
And what do I know? I don't know anything either. So the dad's like, hey, listen, Luke, be honest, be honest, be honest if you want this relationship to survive. And dad goes on to say he's going to miss his son very much. He's got a heavy heart about it. The dad gives him like a little going away $3,000 gift for helping with the bills and to keep him afloat, even for a little bit. And I just think that Jim is excellent. I think Jim is a great dad. And again, I'm going to reiterate, I just don't like, he's a great dad to Luke.
Yeah, it does seem so.
Yeah. Manon and Anthony. They're so different, but let me tell you, I'm very entertained by these two. So Manon is 10 toes deep in her feeling like Anthony put a dagger in her heart for saying he's the sole parent. And they fight differently. So when they disagree, Manon holds on to that anger, that disappointment, whatever she's feeling, and Anthony is able to just move on from fights very quickly. And she's like, I don't do that. She'll table it for later. What do you think of that, Abby, having different communication and argument styles?
Oh, that's so normal. Like, people are just going to have different styles. So as long as each of you can deal with the other person's style, or you can like try and modify if it's hurting your partner, what your style is, then I think it's okay. Like, it's really normal. Everybody's not going to fight the same. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Manon is upset. And this is the reason why I don't understand why she's upset. She acknowledges that she doesn't have the time with her son that she wants. She doesn't have the connection with him that she wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means she's acknowledging that she is not spending as much time at home as Anthony because she's been working more.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when Anthony says that he feels like he's been doing most of the parenting on his own, that is just the reverse of what she is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So why is she upset at him for saying it out loud? That's why I don't understand her being upset.
I think that people get defensive when they're feeling bad about a situation and then they're confronted about that same situation, right? Just like someone was cheating and you call them out on their cheating and then they get defensive, but they know they cheated. So like, what are you getting mad about? You know what you did. So she is feeling insecure and therefore defensive about something that she said that she didn't hold resentment towards, meaning not being close to her son, not having the same bond that Anthony has. So Anthony called out something that's a sore spot to her, and she is mad that he called it out. That's it.
That's it. That's her being defensive, because it is true.
It's true. But and this is part of the reason why they're moving, right? Is in order for her to spend more time with her son and bond the way Anthony is bonded. So, I
think that's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be an issue if I can't say to you what you're feeling on your own. If I can't say that to you without you being defensive about it, then I think that is going to be an issue between them. Not having different communication styles, but just simply that you get defensive with my assessment of our situation, even if it's the exact same as your assessment.
Yeah, Jazo says, don't want the mirror held to their face. That's exactly it. So listen, that's going to be an issue, but you know what else is going to be an issue, Abby? A huge glaring issue, money and finances.
Absolutely.
So he literally said, and I said this last week, and this is why, again, I'm sticking to, I don't understand why moving to France is going to change your issues or solve your problems. Anthony in this episode literally said he's worried that the same issues are moving with them. And then I'm saying, of course they are. Money and finances, you're worried that the money and finances issues, because you two do not see eye to eye on that, are going to move with you. Of course they are, because they're not resolved.
Right.
Everywhere you go, there you are. Everywhere your issues go, they're going with you.
Yeah. And the way that we saw her, little bit of her reaction to being back in her home country, I was like, it might even be exacerbated because she already is living a bit more, out of her means than necessary in LA. Now you're depressed and you might be trying to like self-soothe by spending money and buying more things. Like it might even be worse.
It might. They're bringing a lot of baggage with them to Marseille, a lot. And so I'm just worried that they're not going to be able to work through so many issues when now they have the family stress on top of it, being in a country that she may or may not have thrived in because she has bad memories and trauma from it. They have a language barrier because Anthony does not speak the language. And then they also have a baby on top of it. That's a lot, you guys. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So Joslo said something interesting. Like, so I said that I didn't understand why they didn't consider moving to a different state where maybe the cost of living wasn't so high. And Joslo saying she doesn't understand why Anthony couldn't just go to work part-time and she be part-time in her influencer job and they could have stayed in California. I don't know. Like, I wish that we could have seen the conversations that they had before they decided moving to France was the move, because to me, it does seem like, Joslo, I agree. It seems like there were other alternatives available apart from moving to the US. And I'm not saying that because like you should live in the US, it's a great place to live. I'm just saying because like it's obvious that she has so much trauma wrapped up in who she was perceived to be in France, or the role that she was expected to fill, I think is how she described it in France.
100%. 17-hour flight. 2 flights totaling 17 hours plus a layover. They land in Marseille. Anthony's feeling optimistic about things. Manon, not so much. We meet Laurent is actually how you say it. And Sabrina, which I was surprised her name was Sabrina, but whatever. The mom and dad. And Manon starts crying. It's been 10 years since she's lived there, 9 years since they have been, like, she's been back. And Laurent and Sabrina have only met Benjamin one time. So this is their grandbaby's there. It's a family reunion. Her parents are happy to be reunited, as Manon coming back not only by herself, but bringing a family with her and incorporating their family into it. And Manon's not so much. She's worried. She's worried about all of it, being with her family, because we already know that she has some trauma with her family and how they've treated her in the past, how they've body shamed her in the past. So there's that. And so time's going to tell, right? Time will tell if it's going to work out. Anthony also thinks that Manon might not stick it out. And those words were a little insensitive, I thought, because you don't stick out trauma. You don't stick out behavior. You leave that. So like, you're worried that she won't stick it out? Are you meaning like she's not going to stick out the deal that you guys made with each other, where you were going to give your marriage a second chance to survive? Because if your wife's not happy and she's being verbally abused, she should not have to stick it out.
Correct. Perhaps he meant, because if we take it to talk about like the trauma, then it sounds very harsh, but perhaps he meant like, is she going to stick it out? Is she really going to want to stay home? Because we also know that it appears a lot of her self-esteem is built up in being successful at her business. So is she going to truly be fulfilled by being a stay-at-home mom?
So let me give you a plot twist, though. Okay. I don't think she's going to have the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom because what is he going to do for work, April? I haven't
Well,
heard I
in
haven't
their
heard
minds,
I
he
haven't
will
heard a visa.
suddenly.
I haven't heard a visa plan. I haven't heard, hey, we knew we were moving. I started applying to jobs. I have a bunch of interviews lined up where I can solely speak English and I'll be able to work. In Marseille? This is not even Paris. In Paris, maybe you get a job at a cafe making coffee behind the scenes, but no, that's not what this is. So I'm trying to see how are they going to live off the savings, because we already know they're 30K down, right? They had 70, they're 30 down. You do the math, that's not going to last long, because then now we're talking about euros and not US dollars.
Right.
So I think she's going to be forced to go back to work. That's the plot twist.
I also agree. But in their imagination, she's staying home. So I was just thinking, like, in that sentence, maybe he's saying she won't really like it, which is fine. Everybody's not made up to be a stay-at-home mom, but yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know. Time will tell, y'all. And she's already triggered. You guys, she hasn't even been there for 24 hours. She's already triggered by her family.
2 minutes.
Because the saying she said means in French, fit into a mold. And she feels, her words, you guys, that she's already regressing. So all that progress she did in the last 10 years, being away from the place and people that made her feel small, she's regressing. And she's not even been there. She hasn't even gone to the house yet, you guys. She's landed at the airport and this is how she's already feeling.
Right. She also said that she feels like a failure. And you guys, to start over in life, like completely divorced from their actual situation, but just to start over in life or to try something new does not mean that you are a failure. Okay? You can pivot and move in different directions, try a different career, go back to school. It does not mean that your prior life was a failure.
Not at all. It just means you're growing. You're growing, and there's something better out there for you, and it's okay to change and not just be a part of your history. And whatever is on the horizon is going to be great. Yeah, Jotzo says she's not the type to be stay-at-home mom, whereas Anthony seems to be the perfect guy for that. Could you be in a relationship where your spouse was the stay-at-home, like your spouse was the stay-at-home person?
No, I'm not interested in that. I'm not. Like, it totally makes sense for other people. I can understand that, but for me, I would not be interested. I want to know that if I lose my job or if I have an accident of some kind, that there's going to be some income that can, take care of everything while I'm out. I wouldn't. To be in a relationship to me means some financial security. And so what is the benefit of me being in a relationship where I'm not getting that? Like, that's what I would want for myself. Like, I don't know, like a friend of mine, quick story. A friend of mine got furloughed last week and I was all like, oh my God, what are you going to do? Do you already have a plan? And she just looked at me kind of crazy. And then she was like, I'm married. I've gotten so used to the useless husband thing that I totally forgot that there are husbands out there who carry that financial load when you can't, right? And that's exactly what I would want for myself. No judgment for other people.
Yeah, it's a hard pass for me. Hard pass. I'm just not interested in that at all. And I personally, for me, and again, no judgment, and whatever works for your family works for your family, and that's why it works for you. But for me, it's no, hell no, nope, not at all, not ever, not ever, not ever, ever, never, ever, 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 ever. Would that be for me?
Yeah.
He's like,
However, the way that they're doing it, I like it because sometimes when the man is at home as a default, it's just like he's just there, right? He's not like cleaning the house and cooking the meals and doing house management, like making doctor's appointments and all that stuff. Like Anthony is actually carrying that full home management role. So at least he's doing it that way. Like I've known people who have a husband who's at home and they get home and they still got to feed the cat. They still got to clean the bathroom. It's like, what's the point in having somebody sitting around on your couch, stinking it up, and they're not even doing anything?
Olivia says, I literally had this convo with my BF. What's the difference between a 50-50 romantic relationship and my friends then?
Exactly. Like, let's just be roommates if that's what you want it to be.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm just throwing that out there in the universe as I start dating again. No, thank you. No, thank you. Come healed. Come with a career.
And your wallet.
And your wallet. And your faith. And also, don't come with BS. Like, don't come with BS. I'm not interested in that at all either. All right, Jenny and Sumit, can I just say that I know that this is not supposed to be a comedy, but these two are just comedy to me. Comedy. Who put Sumit in charge? I don't understand. Sadna, I'm going to need you to come with all your rules and regulations and work this out. Stop before the train crashes.
Yeah, like where is Sadna on this? How come we don't see her admonishing him the same way she admonished Jenny in her clothes that don't fit?
Who put Sumit in charge? Why is Sumit considered a businessman? He has no idea what he's doing. He has no money. He's never had a proper job. Why? Like I just laugh. I just laugh like we all see it coming, you guys. We all see how terrible this is going to be.
Yeah.
So Jenny's like, oh, we need some things now. You think? You think you might need some equipment for the cafe?
I need you to remind me. So when the old business partner said that he left the prior cafe, the old business, for Sumit to run, and he was barely operating it, barely showing up to open the place, and he said Jenny wouldn't let him. Remind me what was going on there?
I didn't see that on I don't remember that because I remember them showing like this is what he's doing now, but I don't remember. And if you guys remember it, because I really don't. But yeah, so they go to see Rohit. Um, Rohit and Sumit see that business closing completely different. Sumit thinks that Rohit closed the business because he couldn't handle it and wasn't being successful. And now Sumit thinks that Rohit is jealous that he's opening up a similar business on his own. Rohit says, oh no, I have multiple businesses. I asked Sumit to run this business and he ran it to the ground. He would only open for 2 hours a day because Jenny wouldn't want him gone all day, every day. Now, I'm tending to lean towards Rohit because I just don't see Sumit with that hard work, entrepreneurial. Yeah, you got to put 17-hour days in. I just don't see it. And at that time, to kind of piggyback off of what you said, Abby, at that time, Jenny did not want to ever be alone. She didn't want to be in the house by herself. She wanted Sumit right by her side all the time. So I could see her fussing about him being gone all day, every day at that time. I could absolutely see that. So would he close after 2 hours and come running home to Jenny? I could see that happening as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to pick a side, I would probably say Sumit was the one that did run the business into the ground. And to be on par with what's happening right now, where he got this BS space with no water that you're making coffee. Let's say you're slammed and busy and you don't have running water to make the coffee with. Make that make sense to you, because it doesn't.
It doesn't.
So they're going to see Rohit to see if they can get some equipment. Now, Sumit really wants the equipment for free. He does. He thought, hey, that's my friend. I've known him for years. He's not using it. He should just give it to me. But then he kind of twists it a little bit and says, well, obviously, I'm not expecting it for free. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yeah, you
Which
were.
is the craziest thing.
Which is the craziest thing. The other crazy thing, you guys, that I was dying of laughter was when Jenny was complaining about the dirt in the storage room where the equipment was. I was like, Jenny? Jenny, have you forgotten we've seen how you live? We've seen your kitchen. We all, like everyone in the live chat remembered. Everyone remembered your kitchen. Everyone remembered. So, I mean, I don't know. I
This
don't
whole
know.
thing
Calling
was
it spade a
hilarious
spade.
for so many reasons. Because, like, you're not clean either, Jenny. But when he said, all you Americans think everything is dirty. He said, just get out. All you Americans think everything is
Becca, Becca said, "Get the small broom, then, Jenny."
Oh my God.
And Tanya said, "And Jenny, box and jar your spaghetti." You guys are comedies out here, comedians. Pure comedy. Oh my god, that was funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. By the way, guys, I just booked a trip to India. It's going to be my first time going. I'm super excited.
What happened that you're just throwing in there so sly and I'm still laughing? What did you just say?
I just booked a trip to India. So when I went to Uzbekistan earlier this year, I met a family that they're such an interesting family. So they were living in what is now properly Uzbekistan at the fall of the USSR.
Mm-hmm.
And so I met them there and they just like taught me so much about that area that I didn't know. So anyway, the daughter of the family reached out to me over Instagram and was like, hey, we're going to India on these dates. If you want to come with us. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe you'll run into Jenny somewhere. Maybe you can do like a meetup somewhere.
We'll see. Yeah.
So Rohi and Jenny do not get along. They just do not like each other. And Sumit wants this equipment on credit. And Rohit's like, no, I'm not giving it to you on credit. Like, I'll give you a steep discount, but I'm not going to give it to you on credit. And that's when Sumit's like, oh, you're jealous because I'm starting a business. Well, that remains to be seen, Sumit. I'll believe it when I see it. Meanwhile, he offers 35,000 rupee, which is 401 US dollars for it. And so Sumit's going to pay that over time. Now, do I think Sumit is ever going to pay it? Absolutely not, because I don't think that business is going to be up and running anytime soon. I just don't. I don't believe it. Who put him in charge?
Yeah, Rohit, I would collect all of your money up front. I would not trust that.
At all. At all. Period. Full stop. And last and certainly not least is Greta, Hazel, and Matthew. In that order. So Greta is FaceTiming with Matthew. Matthew says he's stressed out just about like the move and all the things. And he's got this big pimple that he's worried about on his forehead. And they make a little joke about that. And she's like, still love you anyways. She asks, are you apartment hunting? And he hasn't. And his excuse, Abby, was he's been busy. I would like to know, what are you busy doing?
Yeah.
Finance bro, what are you busy doing?
Yeah, details, details. What exactly have you been busy doing? If we agree that you're supposed to already be looking for a place, what's taking your time away from that?
I need to know, and I need to know immediately. Because I feel like part of the plan when you decided to propose meant that you want to live your life together forever and ever, never, never. Yes. Okay. Well, then what? You all staying at the mama's house still? Which I'm not opposed to, you guys. You guys know how I feel about multi generational families, but that's not the deal that you made with Greta. So I'm needing to know immediately. What are you busy doing?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, uh, we find out that the parents live in a small remote village and their house is not that big. And Greta wants to know, like, have they made room? Because, they're both vegans for their vegan food. And he decides that he's going to open up the freezer, the deep freeze, where there is lamb and pig innards and all of that. But I know that that was for our benefit, you guys. It really was, because you could have just opened up the fridge, or you could have just said, hey, my dad was a butcher. There's going to be a lot of, meats in here because they're still meat eaters. And I will say this, you guys, no disrespect, but that's the parents' house. If the parents' house and they're meat eaters and you're not, then you're going to just have to work around it. I don't personally think just because you're a vegan that you're now going to have to look down on and frown upon the way that they eat in their household. You just put your vegetables in the fridge and call it a day. You don't even, because what as a vegan are you going to even need to freeze?
So I was not sure if she was referring to that she just didn't want to see it. Like I had a friend in the past, we're not friends anymore, who would ask me not to order certain things in front of her because she didn't want to see it. So I was like, is that what Greta was meaning when she talked about what's the refrigerator situation?
And maybe that's true, but again, I stick to, okay, you don't want to see it, but this is not your house.
Mm-hmm.
This is not
Yeah,
your
him growing up with a parent who's a butcher is extremely different in his like what he's used to tolerating.
right. And he said he's been a vegan for the last 8 years. But he wasn't a vegan his whole life. And again, I'm stressing that that's not your house. If your future wife has a problem with looking at meat or is having an issue, and you're a vegan and you're having an issue, then go find your own apartment, because that's not your house. Your parents
Mm-hmm.
are letting you stay there. An ex-butcher and whatever the mama does, that's their house. They can eat however they want to eat, and they don't have to hide it, because guess what? That's their house.
Right, right. More of my concern was her ability to do anything on her own when he's at work.
It's going to be hard because she said this is a very remote village. You have to walk an hour before you even get to the market. So, yeah.
So it's not even the kind of place where she can like entertain herself.
And how is that going to fit in? Because we know that she's going to be volunteering at like an animal shelter or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. How is she going to be able to do that when she's, in Timbuktu? I think, again, I need to know, Matthew, what are you busy doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. I need to know, because you can, like, I think it's 2025, and I think that the internet is there, and I think that we all have, like, small computers that we carry around all the time. So you don't get a lunch break that you can pop on and look at a website that has flats. I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. You can't hire a third party to go ahead and look for you and narrow that down. I don't believe it. Plus, you're a finance guy, so you
Yeah.
have money. So, like, what are we talking about here?
Conspiracy theory, he doesn't want the cat to come, so he's not eager to get a place.
Well, the cat's not coming.
He doesn't want the cat to ever come.
Yes, because he is jealous of the cat. So Matthew's jealous of Hazel because he feels that Hazel loves. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Matthew's jealous of Hazel, the cat, because he feels Greta loves the cat, Hazel, more than him. And she says, yeah, she does. And that they've been through more. She's known this cat longer. And she does love this cat more than her fiance, which again, I probably would have talked crazy before, but new empathetic Linda with cats specifically, because you guys know how I feel about cats. I'm looking beyond Hazel and looking at Greta and her feelings, and I think that that trauma in her
Yeah.
early years is part of the reason that she has this attachment to Hazel. And
It's a
so
really honest answer. I appreciated her answer because I hate when we see dating shows and people are like, this guy who they just met 6 months ago, 3 weeks ago, Love is Blind. They'll be like, and he's my best friend. Like, I feel like that's an affront to the friends that you actually have in your life that you knew before you came onto the show.
I mean, I listen, this is what I need right here, because I have been on my best behavior with this cat situation. Like my best
You
behavior.
have.
I
You
really
really,
have.
really have.
I really have, you guys.
Dude, I will give you kudos because I knew as soon as she came on the screen and we saw her taking those pictures, I was like, Linda's gonna have a field day with this whole cat situation. But you listened to her story and you understood why she is the way that she is. And that is, look at you. You're able to you're able
grow.
to theory.
Yeah, grow. Although, you're not going to tell me your cat's an Aries and me not look at you crazy. That's what you're not going to do. So your little Aries
Meanwhile,
cat.
she said the cat's an Aries, and I was like, oh, me and the cat are both Aries.
Oh, see, no. What? You guys, what? 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 Stop it. Anyways, um, yeah, Abby and also Olivia. Olivia, you're out there too. There are a couple of people who try to mess up my Instagram algorithm by sending me ridiculous cat things, and they get unpleasant messages from me.
You guys, I am so addicted to the meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, no. Nope. Don't send it to me.
Stories.
I'll text back to them. I DM back to them because they do. Well, Abby's only done it once. Olivia tries to switch it up. I just know all caps. No, what you're not. No. So I'm understanding, but not that understanding, y'all. When it comes to cats. Cats meow. Have we covered everything? Yes. Yes, we have. Happy Monday, y'all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, share with a friend.
Yes, all of that. Like and subscribe. Joslo said, what if you found the perfect man, Linda, and he has a cat? Oh, Lord. Well, I don't think I can answer that. I'm going to have to get back to you, because if I found the perfect man and he had a cat, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
You'll need the story. You'll need to know, did you voluntarily get this cat or did a relative bequeath it to you? You'll need to know why he has a cat. That's what I think. Did you choose this because you would choose a cat over again and again and again in the future of our lives together, or is this just something that happened?
I'm gonna have to get back to you, Joslo. I am stuck. And I usually can have a moment and see how I really feel, but I am stuck on this one. I'm stuck. Remind me next time, because yeah, I don't know. Abby, I honestly don't know.
Really? Becca said, what if the cat came with an inheritance? That softens the cat blow, right?
The cat came with an inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
To whom? To the perfect man?
To the perfect man. He's the perfect man, and he got an inheritance from a relative of, let's say, $1 million plus take care of my cat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it, you guys. I'm stuck. I want to say something so bad, but I want to make sure that that's what I really would do.
It's that serious, guys.
Yeah, my mama would be like, You better not talk crazy, Linda. What are you saying? Oh, Lord. Tanya said, open the door. What happens next is the cat's fault.
This actually reminds me of something my brother-in-law did. He did not like the dog that my sister got for their kids. So he let the dog go. He let the dog run out into the yard, and then he helped them search for it.
Oh, my God.
He didn't tell until years later. He was like, yeah, I let that dog.
That is so terrible. Funny, but terrible. Yeah, I'll get back to you guys. I'm gonna sit on that one for a minute. Like, subscribe, you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Jocelyn told me I needed to open my heart. I'm not opening my heart to no dang cat.
He said not to a cat.
Not to no darn cat.